cut. Immediate turn. Acute left. 80. Keep middle over crest. 80 through dip. Keep middle over jump. Keep right over crest. Into left 3. Don't cut. Into right 4. Into left 6. Don't cut. 100 right 6. Left.
I wonder how, I wonder why. Yesterday you told me about the blue, blue sky, and all that I can see is just a yellow lemon tree. I'm turning my head up and down. I'm turning around, and all that I can see is just another lemon tree.
All right, where do I begin with this one? Although I very much enjoyed rally games, I've never really been good at them. I find that when I play Dirt Rally, I end up hurting myself quite badly, trying to saw on the wheel and getting my fingers hit by the metal shift paddles on my wheel. So I wanted to play something that was a little less serious, but still featured the what I call the core of Rally, the main fundamental things that make Rally fun. And that's harder than it looks. More classic games in the series, like Dirt 3, are not serious enough. They're fun, don't get me wrong, but I think it has something to do with how the stages are designed. They're too wide, they're too short, they're very Sega Arcade to me. Then you have Gravel, which not only has this weird HDR bug, but it's not really a rally game either. It is more of just a generic off-road racer. You can say much the same thing about Dirt 5, with the only event even remotely close to Stage Rally being this one with the weird Exocross style buggy thing. All I'm really wanting is a Stage Rally game that takes itself seriously, but not so seriously that I need a wheel to play it. And if that's what you're after, Dirt 4 is the answer. I originally had Dirt 4 on the Xbox One, but after my Xbox died, I was without it for a really, really long time until recently I managed to find a reputable seller that had one of the codes available still for Steam. And after picking it up again, holy crap, I forgot how much fun this game is. I played it for 4 hours straight, streaming to my friends. Just in case it wasn't absolutely clear from the intro of this video, I suck at rally games. I am really, really bad at judging how fast the car can go through corners because it's dirt. You don't know until you get there. And, well, I crashed a bunch. Okay.
Yeah, I think you need to restart. Yeah, I think you really overshot those. You really overshot those.
I didn't. I just drove straight.
I was looking. What happened?
You
I was looking. What happened?
I drove straight off a cliff. When it comes to the dirt games, I am the king of finding ways of wrecking cars in new and exciting ways.
And crest right 3. Into left 2. Into left 2.
I can't take all the credit for my bad driving, however, because this game has procedurally generated rally stages. Every single time you load the game, you get a different rally stage, and there's infinite combinations. It's literally impossible to memorize the tracks because you'll almost never drive on the same track twice unless you manually save it. Now, the game itself isn't perfect. I noticed it's especially easy for the rear of the car to get caught on something and sort of drug around as if it was like caught on a crown of the road or something. But that's a minor thing, and honestly, in a game like this, where you're playing casually on a controller, not a big deal. Because you're having a lot of car accidents, it gives a really good opportunity to show off the incredible damage model. Codemasters has always had really, really good damage models, even in games with licensed cars, which is something other brands of video games just kind of struggle with for some reason. You'll find out quickly in Dirt 4, tires can fail, engines can overheat, parts can just break at the beginning of a stage for no reason. Stages can quickly become chaos when things just stop working, or, like me, you just hit everything in sight. Regardless, and like most rally games, if you persist long enough, eventually you will find a car and a stage that works well with you, and when you start cracking off amazing turns flowing through the course like water through a valley, it feels so good. I really hate that Dirt 4 got lambasted as hard as it did, because even though it's not Dirt Rally, even though it's not that serious, my god, this game is so much fun. And it does take itself seriously enough that you get invested into it. You get captured by it. It starts holding your interest because along with the compelling procedurally generated rally stages, you have Rallycross, you have Land Rush, you have Historic Rally, you have managing your team, hiring engineers, building up your facilities. It's more than just the sort of checklisty games that have become the norm of modern gaming. Grid Legends is a perfect example of what I mean. Look at this career mode. Look at how it's structured. Look at how every single event is just the same cars on the same sort of tracks over and over and over again. It's just a big checklist. It's lacking anything to push me as the player to want to actually complete it. Now look at Dirt 4 in comparison. We have constant progression throughout the different series of racing. We have staff that we have to hire, cars to collect, building upgrades to get other things like sponsors and paint jobs and things of that nature. There's always something to work for. There's always something to chase. Almost more importantly, none of it's arbitrary. Unlike other games that just give you everything you could possibly want, almost infinite money, just crazy amounts of cars, hand over fist. They give you a massive map full of tons of things to do, but they don't give you any direction on how to do any of it. So in many cases, you just ignore most of it. There's no reason to interact with the things you don't enjoy. There's no challenge. And that's a shame. I think this is the reason so many people look back fondly at the original Race Driver Grid, because it wasn't just about the driving and all the craziness that happened on the track. It's about all the stuff that you did behind the scenes in service of the driving, like hiring teammates, hiring sponsors, optimizing everything you possibly can to make sure that you win a championship with it, that you win a race like the 24 Hours Le Mans, which was a special event. That's what's missing from modern gaming, in my opinion. Hell, just doing something as simple as making your cars a challenge to buy seems to be outside of the purview of a lot of game developers now, and I'm not sure why. Luckily, Dirt 4 seems to be immune from these problems. The progression of how you earn money and how you buy upgrades and get new cars and all that stuff seems to be done very well. Usually you can get a new car and a couple of upgrades for your facilities and or your staff after every championship, which is about how it should be in my opinion.
Left 6, right 5.
My only problem with Dirt 4 really is how hard it is to get today. I really wish there was some way for publishers to allow games to stay up in perpetuity, but I understand that's not how these copyright laws work. And if I had to guess, it has to do with the soundtrack that's in Dirt 4, because the soundtrack is amazing. It is a really good mixture of stuff that was popular on the radio in the time. So, anyway, I hope you understand now why I view Dirt 4 as the Goldilocks of rally games, at least for me. It may not be true for you, but if you want a controller-based racer, you might enjoy this one quite a bit. Anyway, I'm Building Revz, aka Sir Revz-A-Lot, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay tuned for Shagging Sheep.
And the reason why it's a stereotype is because the penalty for shagging sheep was less than stealing sheep. So if you were caught stealing sheep, you just said that you were trying to shag them.
Damn.
What?
Well, yeah, because if you were trying to shag sheep, you was just sent to the fucking dungeon, whereas if you tried to steal sheep, you got killed. So, like, you have to wager your options here.
The things I didn't need to know today.
But you learn something new every day.